So if everyone's ready, just wave your hand. Good, good, good. Okay, so now this very simple game requires you to close your eyes, but not yet. So follow my instructions. I will give you 10 seconds from now to notice and make sure to memorize everything, stuff in your surroundings that are in green color. Okay, 10 seconds. So I will count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so everyone should be stopping of observing the surroundings and memorizing. Okay, so now I would like everyone to close your eyes. So close your eyes, and I would like, sorry, before you close your eyes, can you all turn on your microphone, please? All of you. Before you close your eyes, can you all turn on your microphone, please? Thank you. Now, please close your eyes. Now, please close your eyes. And while you are closing your eyes, I would like you to mention softly but verbally things in your surroundings that are in red color. Oh, you can't open your eyes, Pa Indra, you can't open your eyes. Close your eyes, but you have to focus and remembering all the red ones.
Red.
Yeah.
My tank top.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. Okay. Time is up. Time is up. Now you can mute your microphone again. Time is up, so you can mute your microphone again. Does everyone feel like when you close your eyes and you have to mention or put your attention to all the things that are red and find it a little bit more challenging? Yes, you just know of this game. This very simple game is trying to portray, to let everyone knows how our mind works. The color in that game is basically our mind filter. What is a mind filter? It can be our words, our thought as a filter in our mind. The question is, when we did that game in the beginning, when I asked everyone to focus only on the green color, is it the fact that in your surroundings, there are other things that are not only green? If yes, just nod your head or raise your hand. If yes, which I believe most people will say yes, of course, in our surroundings, there are other things that are more than just green. But the mind filter, because it says we are only focusing on the green, it's not allowing our mind to focus or to be able to recognize or even acknowledging other things that are not green. We are so totally focused on anything that's green, and that's about it. And that's how our mind works. And as simple as that, when we change that mind filter, the mind will focus on different things. So that's how amazing our mind is. So be really careful and be really mindful about what you say or what you put into your mind, what you feel and your thoughts, what you read and your own belief. Keep checking on your own belief. Keep recognizing it. Take some time to reflect on what you have said or what you have experienced the night before, the day before, or even during that day. So regarding into words that are related to our mind, so how do we experience benefits when we want to use the perfect words? we use powerful words and they have to be positive. So for example, when, for example, we only have 10 minutes to prepare a speech or to prepare something to speak. So we have to say, okay, I only have 10 minutes and that is enough time for me to prepare. I only have 10 minutes to get there. So I know that 10 minutes is enough for me to get there. If I was going to be late, then I wasn't supposed to be arriving on time. Then there must be a good reason for me not arriving there on time. Or as simple as giving ourselves powerful affirmation every day, like I have phenomenal coping mechanism. I have a fantastic memory, even though when we are forgetting things, my memory is awesome. So every day we get to choose how to speak to ourselves. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Mika. That was so powerful, and what a way to start the conference call. And I totally agree on this whole concept of where your thoughts and your mind goes, energy flows, right? So it's so important for us to continue to focus on the positive things even during times of crisis, because our well-being is so important, and what we pretty much feed ourselves is what we reflect back outside into the external world. So thank you for the beautiful exercise, and I'm sure most of us will continue to practice this as we continue. Okay, so the next speaker would be Seno Prawiro. Just want to make sure that Sonu is here. No? Mara, can you see Seno by any chance? Sorry, just filtering through. Nope. Okay. Okay. Is Bradley here? Yes, Bradley. Perfect. So we have Bradley Emerson, who is the founder of Business Athletes. Up next, Bradley, if you can unmute yourself, that would be great.
Bradley, are you there? Hello?
Bradley, are you there? Bradley,
can you hear me? Am I audible now?
Okay, yes, we can
you
hear
see
you
the
now.
screen as well?
Yes.
All right, so good afternoon. Very quickly, I want to talk about leadership. I'm going to look at leadership in crisis. The world is not going to look the same the day after coronavirus. The world is going to move towards deglobalization, in my view. People are going to be very selfish. They're going to be looking inside from inside. So it's going to be very selfish kind of movement. So no yoga breath is going to relieve you. No GPS or Google Map is going to navigate your future. So that's the outlook. So crisis has actually revealed you, then changed you. We have found who we are, true self. So it has actually revealed you. So the challenge we have as leaders is to change our comfort zone to uncertainty and ambiguity. If you think uncertainty is an uncomfortable place, welcome to the new world. You have to be comfortable in the ambiguity and you have to be comfortable in the uncertain world. So what does a leader got to do in a situation like this? You got to be brutally honest about the situation with your team. Lay the facts on the table. Focus not on the worst case scenario. This is what we would normally do. But in a situation, my recommendation is focus on a most likely scenario. That's what we should do. And personally, as a leader, you should be healthy. Eat right, get yourself hydrated, get a lot of sleep, and work out. So that's what you should be doing as an individual. So what do we do in terms of our people? You need to paint the picture of the future to them. Tell them what it looks like. So what is painting the picture? You got to give credible hope, not false stories. You have to give credible hope. You have to show what your mission is. People like to follow someone who knows where he is going. And you need to understand the emotions of the people who are there and also to understand their fears. So that is your painting the picture. Secondly, you got to be emotionally balanced as an individual. We got to understand our team is emotionally balanced. What is emotional balance? Understand like a balance sheet. Understand your assets and your liabilities. In this scenario, when you are a leader, what is your asset? Your asset is very simple. The skills you have, the resources you have, and the unity you have. You will see how the world is fighting the COVID-19. They're all uniting, because when you are in crisis, you need to unite. So that is just, and what's your liability? Your liability is the fear of individual people and the uncertainty of where the world will go. So there are 4 things you will have to manage as a leader. Like the countries are looking inward, looking at their own survival, people are going to be looking at their own survival, their own families, their own interests, their own jobs. So they're going to be very selfish. So as leaders, we need to manage them out of selfishness. Secondly, they're going to be very lethargic. Because of fear and uncertainty makes them feel very lethargic. So we got to manage them out of this lethargy. If not laziness, we got to come out of that. Thirdly, mentally, they are going to be very weak. So you need to manage that emotional strength and bring them forward, manage their weakness, and finally, address their fears. So as a leader, if you focus on these 4 things and balance your emotional balance sheet, and then you can lead the ship. So that's Bradley Emerson signing off. That's my 5-minute swing. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Bradley.
Thank you, Bradley.
Wow, thank you. I really love that, what you say about, focus not on the worst case scenario, but on the most likely scenarios, and then outlining the emotional balance sheet. And I feel like, times like this where there are, leaders like us, and understanding our emotions are just so important, because when we can understand our emotions, how we interact with others and how we deal with situations and circumstances become, so much more equanimous. Yeah, so thank you so much for that.
Thank you very much.
Let me just, how do I get out of this? If you can just stop.
Can you close? Yes, can you sharing the
screen,
video? Sharing the screen,
Bradley?
please. Mr. Bradley,
Or
can you please?
maybe, Mari, maybe you can do that on your screen?
No, I cannot see where I can, where I can stop it.
View options. Bradley, are you able to press stop sharing screen?
Please. I think he left.
Yeah.
Maybe we're back to the normality. No, Bradley.
Okay, I think, all right, okay.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
We're good. Okay,
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Bradley.
I'm just going to check if Alfredo is here. Alfredo, if you're here.
He's here. Yes, he's here.
Okay, so, okay, beautiful. So we've got So we've got Alfredo de Joanen, who is the president of the Sri Chinmoy Oneness Home Peace Run Italia, the longest relay run for peace in the world.
All right, yes, and for this project, for this program, I had to come to know Mario because we cooperate for an event at the Colosseum in Rome. So we displayed thousands of peace drawings made by the children around the Colosseum to promote the UN International Day of Peace, which happens every year on September 21st. Right, and my background is in marketing and communication, especially in green economy. So I would like to share, and I hope that this can help us to face the future, because I haven't seen so much around like some scenario of what we have to face. So I believe that we can better respond to a situation if we have more information and like a scenario. And so according to my point of view from here, from Italy, I would like to share with you some reflection about the situation that we're facing. So first of all, we are facing an unprecedented situation, at least something that was, you know, very powerful in the last 100 years after the Spanish flu. So potentially, for me, SARS-2 has the potential to create a radical change, not for a period, but in our civilization. I see SARS-2 as a gentle kick offered by a higher force to help humanity to evolve. And this kick is happening simply because our civilization reached the point where we were unable to change. So we need like an external kick, a gentle kick. So what is the gentle kick for a divine force? Maybe for the human point of view, it's a very hard experience. So it will be a great opportunity for changing, but also will be not easy. So as Dr. Fauci from US CDC stated, we are not making any agenda here. The virus is making the agenda. So it's one of the first cases in the recent time that we have to adapt to something. We are not managing something. We have to follow something. So a possible scenario, the first thing is what will going to happen from the health point of view, because this will set up also the impact on the economy and also on the social level. So I've heard many things like we have to just wait for the vaccines that will solve all the problem. So it seems that the reasonable time to get a vaccine will be around 2 or 3 years, right? And usually a vaccine is not 100%, does not cover 100% the contagious, the infection. So basically this is not a short time solution. The other, some people say, oh, we have the people get infected, we have an immunization. But this, if you want to keep low the curve of contagious, so it's manageable for our healthcare systems, let's say like in Italy, we can allow infection 1 million per year or 2 million per year. In order to reach 50% of the people infected, we need roughly 15 years. So even this solution is not very short. So basically, if we see also what's going on in Korea and China, the state that the nations that they have a good case history, they could maintain the situation right now just because they are closing the borders. But how long we can keep the borders closed? That's a good question. So we need a miracle, actually. We really need a miracle, but we have to prepare to face a situation really new. And let's see what happened from the economical point of view, because this is also very interesting. So some economists, they said that we are facing something like it's a big crisis, the biggest after the Big Depression in the 1930, in the 1929. Now they change, and I believe so could be worse than that, worse than the Big Depression. So potentially, what we're going to see in probably in a few months can bring us to a crash of the economical, capitalistic, consumistic, and financial system that we knew till now, which can bring us to a very good opportunity to make a reset. But if the system has not the resilience to handle this shock, which is very important because we have a crash of demands and offer simultaneously all over the world. This is also unprecedented. So how we can come out from this? I think that the only solution is if we can work as if solving the problems step by step together. So this is the big challenge, because the situation is forcing us not to act as a nations or a part of the country, but to bring out the best in us collectively and trying to find a global solution. So this is the big challenge that we're facing now. So of course we will see some steps of this sliding. They will be not so slow but quite fast in this new dimension. And so we have to think how we can work with us as a first thing, because we have to strengthen ourselves inwardly, outwardly, and also how we can, in this new way, cooperate with others.
Beautiful. Thank you, Alfredo. I resonate so much with what you said about, using this time, for reflection, and that response is better by having more information. And I feel like that this is why we're all here today, to, share our knowledge and our wisdom, to come together and walk as a human family. Okay, so next up we have
Alfredo.
Thank you so much. Okay,
thank you.
Next up we have Professor Ghazalni Kamal.
Ghazan.
Yeah, Ghazalni.
I think he's here, because I think he had some problem. He was disconnected, or he's here. He's back.
I think I see him on here, but I just don't see his picture. Kamal, if you're here, can you unmute yourself, please? Ghazalni. Maybe he's having some problems.
He wrote in the chat that he has some problems. Maybe we can go with Sai Kiran.
Yeah, Sai is here.
Yes.
Yeah, Sai Karan's here. So beautiful. So we've got Sai Karan, who is a social activist, a startup mentor, and is head of strategic partnership for a UK-based software company.
Thank you, Mario, and thank you, Lee and Rupa, for just giving me this opportunity to present what I know. I was asked to speak on the spread smiles and goodwill in Corona times. I'll just start with a small hymn, what we actually pray daily in India, and in that Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kachit Dukkha Bhadva. The translation is, may all be happy, may all be free from illness, may all experience the auspicious, may no one be overtaken by any suffering, and peace, peace, peace. That's the concept of Indonesian, and I'm just going to give you some of the examples of this goodwill in Corona times. In one of the good videos circulating widely on social media in times of this pandemic a few days ago, a lady seemingly in her 40s, quite humbly dressed, was seen offering a pair of a cool drink bottle to a policeman on the duty, and one may assume that it to be a case of rather aberration than a norm in a country during this crisis. But the policeman, though, responded in large-hearted by handing over her the other means the gestures. Likewise, we had one farmer from Western India who has harvested 3 acres, and he donated his 1 acre of his land, means whatever bread. One lady who is 60 years of year old donated all her of her entire life to the PM care. These stories, as heartwarming as they are, consist deeper meaning of what Indianness is all about. We define ourselves not in terms of I and me, but we and us. That compassion and the ability to contribute have less to do with the magnitude of possessions and more to sense of empathy and national solidarity, something that is intrinsic to our ethos. I'll just, in rather collective moments of efforts, we clanked bells and clapped as symbolic gesture to thank those doctors and health workers battling day and night to ensure we are safe and secure from the threat of corona. Each citizen participated in the show of gratitude, epitomizing fraternism. With each passing day, the invisible threat looming larger. It becomes vital for a country to not shed hope and stay resolved during the curse, and make the point of being determined and to word of darkness of the virus menace. Especially our Prime Minister has proposed 7 key guidelines to beat the virus. Some of them were social distancing, taking care of senior citizens, and paying respect to doctors, healthcare workers, sanitation workers, and especially the police. In a nutshell, he was arguing us to be empathetic and show gestures of goodwill to each other in this hour of human peril. On the ground, people with no exception have been collecting money and resources of their savings to feed poor in cities and towns. Thousands of volunteers are putting their efforts on war footing to make sure nobody is hungry and nobody suffers from this. Some brave volunteers have been helping households for essential groceries ever since the lockdown. But our humanity doesn't limit itself to the national boundary. We believe in the world is one family. It's a belief resonating in every corner of this country. From the day the crisis began unfolding, the Indian government has extended its helping hands to stranded foreign nationals without any discrimination. Even people from our brotherly enemy countries like Pakistan were helped by sending them back to their home. We exported hydrochloroquine medicines to US and Calpol to paracetamol to UK. Lot of pessimists and naysayers deeply and quite badly were skeptical of our aptitude to deal with the global crisis of this scale. We have outdone their expectation, proving them wrong. It has been brought the best in us as a nation and national community. That's what I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Sai-Kiran.
Thank you so much, Kai. That actually brought tears to my eyes when you were talking about all the goodwill that's been happening. And, you know, when you said gestures of goodwill is less about the magnitude, but the gesture like compassion and empathy and a little always goes such a long way. And even if it's just, you know, a bag of rice or some water or whatever it is, it makes such a huge impact on people's lives. And honestly, it's always about the feeling behind it, not about what it is. It's about the feeling. So thank you. And
Thank you so much.
I know that, you know, it's quite rough right now in India as well. I've been hearing a few things. I haven't been consuming media, but I know it's challenging, and thank you for sharing that with all of us.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you.
Okay, Nia,
Yes.
we have the opportunity to have Anna Patrizia
Yes. Yeah.
Santos. Okay, can you please let her?
Beautiful. So next up, we've got Anne Patricia Sutano, who is the member of the Board of Trustees for the Indonesian Gastronomy Association. Anne, if you can unmute yourself, please. Just trying to find you.
She's here.
Anne? Yeah, I think she's here. She's here.
She's here, but
I don't know.
she has the microphone off.
Anne?
She's here, but she cannot hear. I can see on the corner.
Yeah, I'm wondering if she's there. Are you able to get in contact?
Yes.
Anne?
Hi, this
Okay,
is me,
beautiful.
Anna.
Okay, beautiful.
Hello. Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Mi sento qua questo.
Hello, is this me?
Yes.
Yes. So apologize because someone told me that this is going to happen at 8 p.m. Jakarta, which I have confirmed. But somehow it's being, I don't know, is it because of miss time or something? Suddenly it's over to 4 p.m., which I could not stay that long because I'm as of we speak, we have BOD meeting, monthly meeting. So I do apologize that I could not stick to the rest of the conference call. I do apologize because somehow there's a misinformation on hours, which 4 hours earlier than what is scheduled. I think it's because of the miscalculation from the informations. Anyway, yes. I'm the vice CEO of Penn Brothers, and at this moment, we are not working from home. We are actually still working in the office, and as of we speak, we have a BOD meeting as of now, and the factory is in Indonesia, basically. As long as you registered your factory to the government and the government check on the social strict protocol within COVID-19, we can still operate as usual. However, to make sure that we have social distance, we do need to have 6 feet apart from each other. And because of it, since early March, we actually impose on shifts so that people entering our factory, people going out of our factory, we would have distance among us or between us so that everyone is quite protected. And I know that some of you would like to know, so how do we do this? And so basically, Penn Brothers is the largest export from Indonesia. We produce from cloth to clothing. And we started this COVID-19 prevention by making the masks for our own workers. Each of our workers actually get two washable or reusable masks. And we are going to distribute again another batch in May together with the family so that everyone can wear the mask. So this were being distributed last March. But because of it, a lot of our friends actually asked us to make for them. It's like a custom orders. And suddenly our retail also asking us to make. So suddenly we are the producers of reusable masks. At this point, we have made and distribute about 10 million washable masks or reusable masks for the orders. And then soon we are going to make 100 million masks in the next 3 months. And possibly up to December, we are going to make 300 million washable masks. And 5 weeks ago, we were asked by our government to produce for the orders of Indonesia for the protective jumpsuits, medical grade, as well as washable or usable jumpsuit. And we did make and distribute already more than 100,000. And as of we speak, we are actually make a commitment to produce 10 million disposable jumpsuit, medical grade level 3, as well as 1 million washable jumpsuit in the next 3 months. It's actually not so long journey, because we are actually, our motto is clothing the world with Indonesia heart. Now we are diversify a bit to saying ourselves safe clothing the world with Indonesia heart. So yeah, we try very hard to make sure that the demand in the domestic as well as the world are being fulfilled. Again, like I said, it's not so easy journey, because we are making from non-medical grade to medical grade. So there are a lot of lengthy tasks, lengthy process still need to be filled out despite the pandemic, but we are able to make it as soon as possible, the medical grade for the disposable jumpsuit, which has been independently tested by third-party tools, and we are able to get the medical grade level 3 for our disposable. And yeah, behind us there are 38,000 workers in 25 factories of us, and each of the factory is being imposed on strict protocols. So at this moment we are running also at 2 shifts to make sure that social distance are being maintained. Yeah, so anyway, thank you very much for having me in this FICON, and feel free to ask any questions. I can give you my email and so on. So if any one of you would like to reach out, and if I could reach out to all of you for things that is for sharing and so on, feel free to do so. I do have to apologize that I cannot stick to the rest of the FICON. I wish I could. If it's at 8 p.m., I do want to stick. I want to listen to everyone's sharing ideas or sharing innovations and any of your story. I know this is not easy time. Everyone has a lot of creative and innovations idea and also implementation. But I do have to apologize that I have to prioritize my BOD meeting, which is not yet finished, just so that you know that I'm actually willing to do this. But if it's at night, at the evening, yeah, I do apologize.
Thank you
somehow,
so much. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time.
And stay safe. Yeah, stay safe and healthy for everyone else.
Yeah.
I think we just have to make sure that our brain and our heart to make sure that we can all fight against COVID-19 and whatever COVID-19 aftermath. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us and for being here with us and for your time. Thank you
so much. Thank you.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, beautiful. So next up we have Panka Sarunga. Just gonna check if Panka is in here. Pancha. Mario, do you see Pancha? No. Okay.
Yes, I'm here. Can you
see
me
you're
now?
here? Oh. There's too many. Oh, yes, you're here. I see you now. Great. So Pancha is a Be Lifetime Learner. Yes. Yes. And Pancha is also the CEO and President of ITTA Foundation Indonesia. Thank you, Pancha.
Good. Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. It's great to have you all here. Is my voice is loud and clear?
Yes, it's loud.
Okay, so okay, thank you so much. Yeah, first of all, thank you so much, Dr. Alia, for the opportunity. Mr. Mario and Neely, it's a great session so far. I hope everyone stay healthy. I would like to share my quick sharing, and I'll try to make it within 5 minutes. So Neely is not giving me any sign. So let me share my very quick sharing of the presentation, which is just recently I do for a public lecture in one of the private university, one of the largest private university in Indonesia. So the topic is called survival planning for recovery in Indonesia post COVID-19. Is everyone see my screen? Mario, you see my screen?
Yes, survival and planning for recovery in Indonesia.
Yes, yeah, thank you. Okay, quick intro that this is the worst for Indonesia tourism because I've been in Indonesia tourism for 25 years. And if you heard about Bali, of course, some of you might heard, and this is probably 10 times worse in terms of the revenue for Indonesia. And we never prepare for this. Just a little bit background. I've been in a multinational hotel company, including Parkland. I forgot to put Parkland logo here. And I'm with a government agency as well. I'm serving 4 years as one of the director in the government agencies involving a few projects, and also this is a few entrepreneurship. Reimage is professional convention organizers, and I'm involving in few association as well. The Tourism Association, the Hotel and Restaurant Association, MICE, and also Maritime Related Association in Indonesia. So basically, there is at least 4 things that we need to anticipate in terms of survival and planning. And this is what I share to Indonesian audience and might be applicable to some of the colleagues which is listen to this. So basically, we need to refine the sales strategy. So we need to avoid a massive discount. And if we have a remaining marketing budget, we need to save for a new initiative. Why refine sales strategy? A lot of big multinational company right now is changing the strategy in order to be survive. Number 2 is refocus on existing customer. So maintain the relationship, show the empathy. So this is the best time actually for you to say hello to your existing customer. Just simply text them and say hello and say whether they are fantastic, because a lot of people say, I'm staying in the house, why I should contact my customer, I'm afraid to disturb them. Actually, what I'm thinking, this is the way other around, we need to show the empathy to our customer. And even we can discuss about what is possibility, we should do, or maybe they have opinion, or they have input for our business as well. So maintain the existing customer is important at this point of time. This is one of the effort that done by Singapore Airlines. So for those which is making a flight booking, so Singapore Airlines, in order to keep the existing customer, they even giving extra credit 500 Singapore dollars to those will rebook in the future. So this is one of the way done by Singapore Airlines. The third point is reinvent business models and business operation model. Some of you may knew that this is a picture of a new Jimny, Suzuki. A lot of my colleagues have this model in the past, but what Suzuki done is they remodel, which is not very far from the past model. So this is making people have a memory about the past Suzuki. So in this time, we need to review your portfolio and offering, you know, and align the new customer behavior, because the behavior might be changing during this over period of time. And this is one of the reasons why Airbnb right now changing the different experience. Let's say Mario having a hotel right now in Italy, but maybe Mario during the good time, Mario got yoga class in the resort. So why not selling the yoga class to the customer? I mean, it's always possible to sell something which is in the past. Mario will put yoga as a additional experience when staying in the resort. But now we can selling yoga online, for example. So this is one of the things that we could do in order to you know, reinvent business operation model. Last point, which is I've been hearing a lot of people say that after the COVID, business like reset, you know, business like started from the new beginning. So if we are behind our competitor, or actually we are far behind from competitor, this is the time for us to equip ourselves. And we never know, after the epidemic, there is a new recovery, new opportunity, which is make us will be able to see something very new. Or maybe we will see our customer totally different brand new way of thinking. Yeah. So, and I would like to share the this is what I shared to our colleagues in tourism industry member Indonesia, what we can do in the next 3 months, you know. So temporarily switching using the relationship in switching, meaning maybe you can have something else you know, you can do in terms of getting your revenue, but using your relationship. A lot of my colleagues in Indonesia having a travel agent, now they're selling dailies like rice, you know, meat, and etc. Using their relationship. And number 2 is of the customer. So yeah, so the SME will be winner, and don't forget to team up and training your team for the new battle. The last slide is for us in Indonesia, we will anticipate the big race of in domestic tourism. We have 250 million population, just like India. So we should be able to recover our industry very soon. The race of small enterprise will be also there, and also the race of hidden tourism in Indonesia. I think this is.
Thank you.
Thank you, Panka.
Thank you so much.
It was very interesting.
If you can just stop sharing your screen. It's a bit lagging. I think it's so resonant with what you're saying about the tourism in Indonesia, because right now I'm living in Bali, and I've seen I've seen a superior drastic change, obviously, here. And, you know, obviously the Balinese people thrive off tourism, and now they just don't have business anymore, and they're really, really struggling. But I'm also seeing the way that they are kind of broadening their perspective in order to maintain the relationship with their existing customers. And, you know, they're messaging their, you know, us customers on WhatsApp more, and creating these beautiful challenges and telling us to participate in. So I feel like it's just so beautiful together, how it's actually bringing us closer together than we actually think.
That's good.
Yeah, and it's just making us thinking outside of the box. And yeah, and I think it's really, hopefully this will all be finished over soon so we can get back to normal.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so the next speaker is Sabah Fatima.
I haven't seen her. I haven't seen her.
Oh, you haven't seen her? Okay.
No,
Maybe
I'll look for her.
maybe we will go to Vineet then. Vineet Nambia, who is a founder of Mavericks 365 and the IBD Summit. His ventures are focused on venture capital, co-working spaces, technology, and innovation. He also blogs and is a contributor to TechCrunch, Tech in Asia, and is a regular speaker in various international forums. And he's from Doha, Qatar.
Thank you, Nini.
Welcome, Vinet.
Thank you, Mario. A special thanks to you, and thank you, Ayla, you know, for actually having the whole thing. Am I audible? Am I clear?
Yeah, you're
Very
clear.
clear.
Yeah, very good. Excellent. So thank you for this opportunity once again. These are very interesting times. I was listening very carefully to some of the speakers who had actually spoken before me. I wanted today to probably share my views on an article which I actually recently wrote, which is about reimagining a whole new post-corona world. And there are some huge trends, you know. I'm very excited about these times, you know, and I know a lot of people, maybe Mario might hate me sitting in Italy saying, you know, what are you so excited about this pandemic? But I think there's a whole civilizational reset, which we're actually seeing here. In the last generation, probably for my generation, I think the biggest trend which we saw was the end of the Cold War, and we saw globalization taking shape. I kind of disagree with one of our speakers who said that globalization, we're going to say deglobalization. I think we're going to see more of globalization. Look at us sitting and, you know, being part of this whole online forum. We wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for this whole crisis. We wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for this pandemic. You know, we have people from around the world sharing our views, sharing our stories, and learning so much. On a normal day, we probably would have to fly down to a conference to actually do some of these. Even my mom, you know, who's not exactly technology savvy, she's sending me Zoom link these days to actually be the conference. So we're seeing a whole acceleration of trend here. So that's where I come up to my first point of digitalism. You know, I've been being part of many international forums in the last few weeks. One in Latin America, you know, a country, a region I don't know much about. I've simply been able to attend these forums, even speak and, you know, even network with some of these great leaders, only because what was supposed to be an offline event has come purely online. So I was able to quickly log in, be part of that, make some great relationships. So take advantage of this opportunity. I think post-corona, we're going to see a huge trend towards mainstreaming of the online forums. I think this is going to continue. People are getting very comfortable with the whole video conferencing environment. People are getting comfortable with the fact that, you know, we could actually have a great conversation using platforms like this. So I think that's a great trend which I see of online forums. Take advantage of that. Remote working. You know, remote working was something we in the tech industry used to be doing all the time. But now I'm seeing small and medium scale businesses like travel agents. You know, a friend of mine was telling me he was really worried that they're going to be layoffs because their management realized that they could do a lot of stuff remotely. They don't actually need to hire a lot of people, you know, and actually in their company. So this may not be exactly a positive thing, but we're beginning to see this a whole mainstreaming of remote working, which is going to accelerate globalization. I feel. I think we're In a global world, we're going to have global companies. We're going to have employees sitting around the world working on a similar project. In the technology industry, we used to use this. Now we see a huge mainstreaming of this trend. So that's another trend in the whole digitalism thing, which I'm actually seeing. I'm a guy who used to shop always out of hypermarkets. I love online shopping, but for day-to-day stuff, for grooming products and stuff like that, I should go offline, go to hypermarkets. Now I'm subscribing to grooming product in a very subscription format, things which I've never done before. So if an FMCG company can actually build an online channel to actually reach out to customers directly, that is called digital transformation. So I see a huge trend across industries. We had a gentleman who was talking about tourism industry. And, across industries, people are beginning to reinvent themselves using technology, finding ways, accelerating this trend that this is no more the exclusive territory of a few companies. This is for every industry, how you use technology, how you use it. So across the board, digital is going to be on steroids. We had seen that before. So just like when the internet was such a disruptive force, we saw the collapse of many companies and the rise of new companies. Post-pandemic, I see a whole new rise of a whole new generation of companies. Billions of dollars of assets are going to be created. New millions of jobs are going to be created in these areas because simply I think a whole new opportunity is coming out. I'm very excited about this trend. That's why we need to study these trends. That's why conferences like this are amazing, because if you learn these trends, only then you have an opportunity to capitalize on these trends. So that's why I'm very excited about the second thing is, I was born and raised in Qatar, Doha, Qatar, in the Middle East. I don't know how many of you, I think all of you have heard of Qatar Airways at least. We live on meat, okay? We're a desert, so we're big meat lovers. I turned vegan 2 months back. When I was tracing the whole corona pandemic and saying almost every pandemic has a lot to do with our animal diets. If a guy like me can go vegetarian or vegan, I see a larger trend towards sustainable living, towards green living going forward. So I have quit meat. It's 60 days. Feb 19th, I quit meat, and I become more socially aware about the environment, about going green, having sustainable environments, because I appreciate these things, little things in life more after this pandemic. And I see a larger trend globally where people are going to go towards, many of my friends say, I'm now 80% vegetarian. I don't eat many of those animals. I'm living a more, I'd like to buy a friend of mine buys sustainable cosmetics. So it's interesting how there's a whole mind shift change towards that, So that's veganism, digitalism, robotism is something I'll put later. But thank you very much for this opportunity. I saw the smiley face by me, so I'm going to end on that ground. So thank you very much. Hope I've added some value here.
Thank you so much, Vineet.
Thank you, Vineet. Thank you. You make a bit bright day,
I love how you said reimagine a whole new post-corona time, and that's exactly what I've been doing. And I feel like it's such a, despite the crisis and all the negativity that's going around, I feel like it's really helping us shift into a new paradigm and ascend us faster than we actually imagine. We just really have to keep our eyes open and trust that this is happening for a reason, and continuing to grow ourselves in the best possible ways and expand our horizons, because the only way forward is up. We can no longer live down in this, suppressed and paradigm anymore. We just got to keep moving. Every challenge is an opportunity for growth. It's simply as that. Okay, Mario, I'm not sure if...
There is Dr. Litzve Benjamin Mekenebe. Sorry for the name.
Okay, yes.
I hope I spelled right. He's here with us from South Africa.
Beautiful. Dr. Benjamin Mogede. I think
I PM you on WhatsApp the last information because I just received it. Can you check, please?
Okay.
To introduce him.
Okay. Oh, yes. Yeah. So
Yeah.
beautiful. So he's involved with Lisware engineers. With life cycle understanding, you will never go wrong even during COVID pandemic. Mr. Benjamin Mongere.
Welcome. Welcome.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mario. Thank you to the team again. We appreciate it, Neely. Thank you very much. You're speaking to Ntozelizwe Benjamin Knebe here in South Africa. Thank you guys for the invite. The COVID-19 pandemic has really affected every nation. Every nation in the world has been affected by this. So in South Africa at the moment, what we have done is via our presidency, we have managed to trace the whole disease and then started to acting actively or proactively to make sure that we get things under control. So that is what we have done from South Africa perspective. But you know, with South Africa, because we only entered democracy in 1994. So for other people, there are still communities where we need to teach people in terms of the health and hygiene. So if you can look at my intro, I'm a keynote speaker in terms of your equipment life cycle, especially in the engineering sector as well. So one of our critical projects with the democratic government was to eradicate the bucket system. So you can see we in Africa, we are number 2 of the countries that are developing, second from Nigeria. So a lot of people that were oppressed during the apartheid never had a chance to have your sanitation systems, never had the chance to have your health and hygiene systems as well. So, but what the government has done is since 2000, they've started now eradicating the bucket systems. So what has happened from there is we were part of that project with the government because we had about 54,000 buckets in a province that I'm situated in now in the Free State. And then you teach people what not to throw in your toilets, what are the things that you must use when you're in the toilet. So I think with the pandemic, because we've already done the groundwork from 2000 to now, our people at least they are up to scratch with that, and then are accepting the guidance from the government, and then they are working in cooperation with that. But remember, there's one thing that is also lacking in South Africa. There's a distinguishment between the poverty levels. So our people in South Africa at the moment, we still have the poorest of the poor. So those are the people, when you tell them about the essential services, those are the things that the government of the day must provide to them so that they are able to make sure that they align with the World Health Organization standards in terms of your washing of your hands, your procedures in line with that. But like I said, from 2000, we've already done the groundwork. A lot of people, we had manuals that were developed in that line where we have about 7 vernacular languages. So that material was developed already, in particular to those languages in South Africa. So we think the majority of the people have listened to the call of the president, and then we are listening to that. So what we see as Lisware engineers as post COVID-19 is we see a nation that is going to develop a lot, especially in the agricultural center, because that is where the food production is done. So if you look for, in fact, where I am, I'm in the maize capital of the world, in a small town, but we have a lot of commercial farmers. There's a production of maize meal, which is a staple food for us in Africa. And then that will go ahead. And then I like one of the speaker in this that was talking about the mask as well. So I think in South Africa as well, our focus will shift to the production of the mask, to the production of the PPE that is right, especially for the health workers. So those are the other things that we'll look at into as well going forward. But most important is the food production that will give to the whole world. So I think what Mario, you have done, and Ninli, you have done, is you have empowered us. I know for me, in my speaking fraternity, I had courses that were postponed because I was supposed to speak in Singapore. I was supposed as well to speak in Malaysia. In Malaysia, I have 3 conferences